Anxiety is completely normal till the time it is within a specific level. Let's say there is an examination, fear of appearing into the examination, fear of going to the stage for the first time, fear of speaking in the public. All those are certain kinds of anxieties. These anxieties are not bad because these help us, they motivate us to perform well. But these anxieties, if they are beyond certain limit, they are higher than the permissible limit, they create an undue fear or apprehension in our mind, and then we start to have different thoughts, different bodily reactions to it, which can affect our normal day-to-day life activities. So if these activities get more intense, the fear, the apprehension gets intense, what would happen? As a result of it, the heart rate might increase, a lot of perspiration can be seen, sleeplessness can be seen during night, sometimes loss of diet, loss of appetite can be seen, shortness of breath, inability to speak properly. Those are some of the symptoms which are associated with these kind of anxiety disorders. Now, anxiety disorders, if we understand broadly, can be defined into 5 categories. So let's understand those 5 categories one by one. The first one is a generalized anxiety disorder. This is a prolonged, intense fear of something. If you are walking on a road, you might think that someone is following me from behind. There could be n number of anxieties. I am being followed by someone. I am not able to reach my home. I am not even able to open the lock of the door. How would I get inside the door? There could be n number of reasons because of which anxiety levels could strike up, and this is the generalized anxiety disorder. So person usually under a generalized anxiety disorder, which we also call as GAD, becomes hyper vigilant, very vigilant about each of the activities going in and around the person, unable to relax, unable to sleep. A lot of perspiration could be seen, breathlessness could be seen, sleepless nights could be seen, and those are examples of or indicators or markers of generalized anxiety disorder. The next is panic disorder. Now, panic disorders are the anxiety attacks which are brought by intense fear or intense terror about something. Now, again, the symptoms are very similar to what we have understood under the generalized anxiety disorder, but here the symptoms can be more worse, and sometimes a person can feel a loss of control over oneself and have a feeling that I'm not able to do anything now, and it's like someone is pushing me hard, I might die. So those are kind of feelings or sensations which are generated under panic disorder. The next is phobia. Phobia is nothing but an irrational fear about something. Now, any irrational fear is explained under the heading of phobia. Now, when we focus on phobia, there are 3 basic categories we talk about. The first is specific fear or specific phobia as we call it. This specific phobia is nothing but fear of something specific. For example, there could be certain persons who are afraid of moving in a lift. There are certain persons who are afraid of height, certain persons afraid of certain animals, and that is a specific irrational fear known as phobia. So that's the first classification. Now, if we go into the detail of phobia, we have n number of names for each of the different phobias that are there. So if you have time, definitely you can revise those. The next is understanding this as a social phobia. People have fear of gathering, fear of being in social gathering. They are not comfortable talking to people and entering a situation where people are around. So that is known as social phobia. The last phobia is agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is a phobia which is classically explained by any unfamiliar situation that a person witness. So such kind of persons who have agoraphobia are usually very insecure. They do not want to leave their home. They are very afraid of stepping out outside the home, and that is agoraphobia. They are happy within their confined space, and that's the only peaceful place for them. The next is the kind of anxiety disorder, which is OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, obsession means a repeated thought about something. For example, my hands are dirty. I'm constantly thinking my hands are dirty, I need to wash. I'm constantly thinking the hands are dirty, I need to wash. So this is a obsession. This is a thought. Now what is a compulsion? Compulsion is an act. I'll go and wash my hand, and again I'll think my hands are dirty, obsession, and then I'll go and wash my hand. So any activity which is repeatedly happening with a repeated thought. For example, you might have seen certain persons who, while stepping out of the house, would lock the house. Go 5 stairs down, come back again check whether it was locked or not. Then again go down, come up and see whether it was locked or not. So this is a kind of obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsession is a thought, compulsion is a act, and therefore both of these work together. The thought must be there which lead to a action repeatedly. The next is post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, as we mentioned before also, post-traumatic disorders are commonly seen with sudden unexpected trauma. Let's say a person living close to a coast witnesses an unexpected cyclone. Whole of the family, whole of the household, the building is destroyed. The agriculture on which they were surviving, their livelihood has gone, and those situations could result into a post-traumatic stress disorder. Now these are commonly seen with natural disasters, with any catastrophic event or a serious accident that someone in the close family witnesses, and therefore post-traumatic stress disorders are again a significant form of anxiety disorders. So broadly speaking, anxiety disorders, the most basic form of psychological disorders, can be classified into these 5 criteria: generalized anxiety, panic, phobia, obsessive compulsive, and post-traumatic stress disorders.